Good day. Welcome to Wyoming Oil and Gas Law. My name is Professor Matthew Festa. I teach at the South Texas College of Law in Houston, Texas. And this morning we're going to be talking about, as you know, oil and gas law for the bar exam. Today's lecture is going to be divided into 7 parts. As you can see at the top of if you have the lecture outline in front of you, you should turn to that now. We've got a 7-part lecture, and here's how we're going to proceed this morning. We'll do the first 3 parts during the first hour: property rights in oil and gas, divided ownership, and interference with oil and gas interests. Then we'll take a short break. We'll come back and we'll spend the next hour on the oil and gas lease, part 4 of this outline that you have today. That's the big part. So that'll take the better part of an hour by itself. Then we'll take another short break, and then we'll come back to finish up with the last 3 parts of the outline: implied covenants, title and conveyance issues, and state regulation. Okay, so just the background is here for oil and gas. If you have taken a course in oil and gas, this should be a good review. If you haven't taken a law school course in oil and gas, this should give you a good introduction. And the good news is that I know you've all taken property. And oil and gas law is kind of, in many ways, it's a subset of property with some special, unique issues. So if you understand property, you'll be prepared to do well in oil and gas as well. We apply some of the general property principles that you've already learned and are familiar with, and then we just set them in the context of oil and gas with an added layer of special rules that only apply to mineral law or oil and gas law. So I think you should feel comfortable that you're prepared to handle this subject, and if you do the work and pay attention and then do some studying, you should be prepared to succeed on this portion of the bar exam. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the outline. I'm going to go through the outline, and there are some spots where we'll fill in the blanks together, and I'll make sure that you understand where those are. Excuse me. Okay, number 1. The first topic we're going to cover is property rights in oil and gas. And as noted there, right at the top of the outline, our default rule for oil and gas law is called the rule of capture. The basic default rule for mineral rights in Wyoming is the rule of capture. The rule of capture is a rule of non-liability for causing oil and gas to migrate across property lines, resulting in drainage of oil and gas from under another person's land. This is the idea that if you have a right to drill on a piece of land, you can essentially suck up as much of the oil and gas as you want to, regardless of where that oil migrates from. It could be under somebody else's land, but as long as you're drilling straight down, the default rule is that you have a right to drink it all up. We'll see in a moment how that rule is modified, but that's the starting point. The starting point is rule of capture. So our first example: Lois landowner owns 10 acres called Black Acre. If she drills an oil well on her 10 acres, it will drain oil from a 40-acre radius. Do her neighbors have a right to share in the production? The answer: no. No, the neighbors have no rights to share in the production, nor can they seek damages. No rights to the production, nor can they seek damages. That's the rule of capture. Even if the oil was originally under their land, as long as Lois, the landowner, drilled straight down, the default rule is she can